What they were supposed to say for no microscope, and the microscope doesn't match the territory you're mapping. So like, I don't know. It's just a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
I don't like taking away
keep saying. It sounds interesting.
things that work for like. I don't like hurting other people's workflows for the sake of meeting a metric that doesn't even have an outcome.
What's the topic here? What's the topic here?
Is this all like office work?
Well, like technical, like the interface between like I worked in information security and like systems operations and things like that. So I was responsible both for like. Well, anyway, the long story short is like, yeah, it's the interface between pieces of physical hardware where you might be moving them around, installing them and stuff like that. And then also like all of the logic that goes into it. So the people are rated on different things. And like at the end of the day, you still have to make those metrics match up to something, either a security control that you need to keep in place or an outcome with customer, purchasing or whatever. Because like one of the companies I worked for was a big retail company.
Girls not gonna like this, right? Girls not gonna like this.
The thing we were most worried about in my team was like we don't want any controls that we implement to break the workflows of other teams. Whereas being in security, well, it's not just compromises. It's like you have to re-engineer the entire thought process. So like a lot of times you look at a situation that you're having. Or a breach or something like that, and you think, oh, I can put in, or executives think, oh, I can put in this piece of technology that fixes it, right? And so then because of that, they start tracking metrics associated with the technology that they bought, like how many things is it blocking or whatever. But like what should really be looked at is the access pattern that's being exploited. And so like just as a very basic example, in the United States, the only reason the Social Security number is valuable is because it's used as a gate to things like credit, getting a house, getting health care, And if you didn't have that number that you both needed to protect somehow yourself and proffer to people that have no way to protect it, then if you didn't need that number to get things that you need to live, then it wouldn't be valuable to steal, which means like all the attack going after that PII would be gone.
So are you engineering or are you a dev or are you a cybersecurity? Because I want to know the real things you get discussing.
Yes, the answer is yes. So
three of them.
As a
just tell me.
Yeah, I've been working with Linux since 1994.
Linux, all right.
And so like. Yeah, just in general. So, like, I learned a lot about, like, the internals at the time, and I don't really know anything anymore. But, like, I came up initially as a system administrator, and then I moved into network architecture and engineering. And then I came back around to cybersecurity, which is kind of what I did as a hobby, as a bad person, back in the day, 20 years ago. And so, yeah, it was fun. So I've done all of those, and like cybersecurity, the specific niches I occupied there kind of combine all of those different disciplines. So like one of the biggest roles I did was a combination. I was building a cyber threat intelligence organization within a big company, and then I was also building all of the back end like management monitoring systems for the SOC, for the Security Operations Center. So like the place I fit is kind of like process analysis, tabletop on up into the actual exploitation path, which leads you into the resolution path by walking back through the process. So basically what I'm thinking about when I talk about the Social Security number is if we really wanted to do attacks against that data and against people who are having to hold that data, then the real thing we have to do is shift it all the way back to what is that data actually blocking and how is it being exploited. So like to really define it, you have to make it non-viable. You have to make it not profitable to steal.
For the function of
it's kind of like the same...
for the cybersecurity standpoint, right? What about open source? What do you think of open source? Do you think it stand a very important point for the improvement for the whole like world?
That wasn't me. Memory, don't look at me. That wasn't me. That was a small child.
I have a lot of feelings about that, and it goes into like the ecosystems of where you're deploying those things. So like just as an example, like you've got, for example, the node ecosystem, right? And it's all through PM and that kind of stuff. Well, on the one hand, you can see all the code, you can run all of your own assurances, you can build all of these self-check systems to proof your containers, to prove, you can make deterministically calculable risk assessment based upon what is in the package set, right? But the thing is that that's based upon whether or not the dependency chain is actually stable. It depends upon, because of the ecosystem that we've built, supply chain attacks aren't just with other vendors now, they're with individual maintainers of code. And each one of those maintainers has their own keys, which can be violated or broken through a billion different ways, and so like the supply chain attacks we've seen over the last few years, the insertion point has often been through those package management systems and dependencies, automatically resolved dependencies.
You know what?
And like you can do things like Artifactory or what.
Yes, you know what? Yeah. Okay. Good. And I also see you have great passion and with great power or like great things what you're doing. But one thing is that one thing is that you might can help me. I'm like total beginner. Okay? Like, what do you think of GitHub? Because
I'm several years out. Like. And I can't go too far into it because like I have security related trauma.
I see.
Like if I talk about certain things and
let's just talk about very basic, because I'm very basic and I'm not even technical, but I actually just go into the surface, very surface. And my problem is this, and you totally can solve this, but I think you can totally solve it, but just tell me how to do it. Like GitHub, I went to the GitHub. And then I want to try some project on some online casino project. And what is your step? What is your step like from A to Z, and to try a open source GitHub from the GitHub? Yeah, because I want to try that, and I want to try to.
So you're talking about a specific project?
Yes, a specific. No, just online casino. That's the project.
Well, in a very basic way, it's up to the maintainers of the project. So there's a few different ways you can. Sometimes they do releases, and so that is a downloadable package that has possibly the executables you need. Maybe just a package of the code.
But most of them don't have the exe file, and. Yeah, it's very hard for me.
Most of them, they tell you to clone the repository.
Yes, from a repository. You're right. And then do I just follow those things from a README?
I was.
Do I just follow those things from a README? And the problem is that before the problem, do you think? Why? Because I really want to know this from your standpoint.
Sorry, I don't mean to hurt you with all this
script. What do you think of AI can help in the coding space now?
That wasn't me. That wasn't me.
Is it reliable right now?
Well,
I mean right now.
You're like 7,000 people.
Because I've used
as a platform or.
Don't mean to hurt you with all this
for manipulating the codings, because I was. I have no knowledge of codes, but I just can read some. I can write. I can read some, and my coding level is very basic. But I want to do things, just for the business standpoint. For the yes. So now I'm trying using AI, but after for like months, I suddenly find that AI was like a joke, because it's like in the long run, it doesn't help me. So I want to know about do you use AI?
It's a lie bot. It's a machine literally built to lie to you.
Lie to me, right?
I have a lot of feelings about that too.
Yes. It was built to lie to me. You are right.
It's a system literally designed to lie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Do you have?
And I've got a lot of feelings about that.
Yes. Say.
Those models have a lot of utility. As like. Okay, if you narrow the corpora that are being introduced into the model, so you reduce the number of knowledge domains that are being inserted into the model, you can possibly come up with something that will help point you to indexed data that can help you. So like if you build it as a basic natural language processing model, very basic without any real knowledge, but with an understanding of the grammar of querying, the grammar of asking questions, then you introduce information into that model which is relevant to a specific domain. For example, let's say you are doing a particular programming language, right? And the problem is we try to get these generative models to do creative things, like, hey, write me some code for this, right?
Yes,
and
correct.
And like it's not real. What they're doing is they're aggregating a series of artifacts that are associated with questions that have previously been answered on Stack Exchange or whatever, or which are associated with code that has been, entered through from a repository into the corpora of knowledge, quote unquote knowledge. But it's not really. It doesn't understand. It can't. It's literally Markov chains. So like from a mathematical perspective, what they're building is just a very complex system of sticking together words, because they're not actually seeing the inferences they're making are based upon text-based observations.
Oh, what you're saying is like the neuron engine, right? What you're saying is neuron engine. It's just lots of input, and then lead to the output, and then it's. What you mean is like it can't go out of the box, right? Is that what you mean?
It can simulate creativity by lying. And what I mean by that is it can pretend, it can put together things that seem to be similar. And sometimes it can put things together that seem to be similar in ways that we can't really individually notice the similarities or the similarities. So like it can be an incredibly useful set of tools. But the thing is, we've been using these technologies for 30 years. All that's happened within the past, 4 or 5 is, one, the hardware has been tasked to it. Like they've started using that hardware for this task, and the software has also gotten to the point where it can be easily. Well, anyway, some advancements have occurred, and like there are a lot of improvements that have been made to the supply chain to provide that information. But the biggest difference is storage. We now can build bigger models than we ever could before and hold them in memory. So there's this land rush, this real estate boom to try to build bigger and bigger models to try to extract more and more, creativity or knowledge or whatever out of it. But that's not how they work. To get good data out of one of these sets of models, you have to put in good data, and then the relationships between the pieces of data that you insert into it have to be deterministic. They have to be replicable. And the biggest problem with these big language models is they are by definition not replicable.
Not replicable.
They are. I don't think so. Yeah, you can't. If you ask one question, you're not going to get the same answer twice.
Oh, you've tried it, right? You've tried it? See.
Yeah, well, I've tried it at various different levels. So, like some of the models, like the back-end model for OpenAI's GPT-3 and GPT-4 is like.
But I mean, if they want it, it's very easy. Like if the same answer for the same question for the same answer, I mean that could be very easy. But I think that's why they don't want it. It's boring.
Technology has existed for years.
She's in trouble. Don't save her.
Right. It's not the. It's not the 1840s going after gold in the western United States. It's not a land rush. It's not exciting to use those things for things that they're good at.
Tickle, bro.
Okay.
So yeah.
Right. Okay.
Difficult. So I don't know.
So now I get it. You are saying the AI is built for a lie, but first I thought it's for the company. The company wants them to lie to us because they don't want us to have power over something. But what you're saying just now is more towards it's built. The AI have to lie a bit, so it creates like creativity like things answer for us. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Yeah. Yes. Like for like 5%, 7%, and then. What?
It varies. I mean, there's different ways to quantify that, and like I'm not an LLM expert, so like I don't necessarily know every aspect of it.
You mean?
But like
you just said Elon expert or what?
Guys, if you want to know
no.
who a gay
I am not an expert with language models. I'm not an expert. It's not really my primary field.
Oh,
I see.
But the problems with it are industrial problems. They are problems with the industry and with the way it's being applied, how much trust is being given to the systems, things like that. So you also nailed the other side of it. You nailed the fact that the corporations are trying to make money off of something that they neither understand nor have they actually identified a usable market for it. They're selling on the lie that the machine has been built to deliver.
Right. You are right. They're selling the lie, and the most point is that when they're selling the lie, the things is that the thing they have to control is that the power they gave to us must be minimum. They can't build for all the people that's using free model. The main point is that we can't build on it, and they can build on it, so they can keep selling. And then they can build stronger and stronger model, and they keep selling. You're right. You're genius. You're right. Yes.
No, I'm just old. But the hardware costs just run away forever too. It's like.
Have y'all watched the new Talk To episode yet? You should see it. I think she had Elon Musk on there. When I watched it, it was pretty good.
I tell you. Do you know that now we have a lot of YouTube's channel that is fake news and created specifically just create using AI and then create Elon Musk fake news. Like Elon Musk just create a water engine, or Elon Musk just create 7,000.
There are an awful lot of
a lot of video they just clickbait, and then it's very easy to do it now with the AI. So now we have lots of channel like this. So you have to really
it's actually even worse than it sounds. So 5 years ago, commercial, or I should say commoditized botnets for push operations or
can you tell me what is
fraud or any of those kinds of things?
Botnets? Do you mean...
A botnet is a collection of machines that are used to like troll bots on Twitter or something, or it could be something as simple as like just persistence on a machine where they do it for DDoS attacks, for DDoS amplification or whatever.
I see.
But it's also
most instances of botnets are DDoS because you want to collectively upstream a bunch of different
by number, by number of persistent locations, But the thing is that for push operations, advertising, fraud, things like that, they used to have to run these big networks of scripts deployed across many machines in order to keep ahead of protections against them. You know, both from a fast flex botnet perspective, so like network traffic hiding or things like that, and also just from a technique aspect. You know, the APIs might be changing, the keys that are used to access the platform, such as Twitter, might be changing. The specific modals and whatever is in the page that would be like exploited or have an inject or something are changing. So like that was the challenge that they used to have. But on Twitter specifically, one of the things that guy started doing when he came in was tearing down all of the bot protections because he saw them as superfluous. And then another thing that happened at the exact same time, completely coincidentally, was the development of these AI platforms such as ChatGPT, OpenAI behind it, and things like that. And what happened is, in order to get people hooked on this idea of these AI systems, they gave everybody free accounts to play with them. Well, here's the thing. It is not difficult to federate, to connect, to coordinate a bunch of those free accounts. And
like Facebook,
so instead
right?
of executing, like Facebook, like exactly, like making Facebook bot accounts or whatever. But the thing is that like those systems don't have to run on all of these different machines anymore because all of the GPT and all that kind of stuff is whitelisted now. So like you just need to act like a poster. And the thing is that because they're fed back in, one, they're not actually being paid, or they're not paying for all of this natural language processing garbage that they're doing. They're not actually paying for diversification of posts so that they can't be immediately tracked just by posting the same thing over and over again. They are literally making use of demo accounts for free on other people's hardware inside of the OpenAI ecosystem or wherever to feedback out, where before they would have had to run some kind of infrastructure to actually do that work, to make it seem interactable, to make the traffic seem genuine. And now it can all be outsourced to these other machines. And instead, companies are paying billions and billions of dollars to get in on this. And they are literally taking, increasing the profit margins of companies whose job it is, from their perspective, to run these operations on Twitter, to run these campaigns, right?
Yes,
so,
I want to know that
it's way worse than it sounds.
Way worse. I want to know that before the
and that's
AI,
just one little tiny aspect of it.
Yes, before the AI, they're already doing this, right? Especially Facebook and also the old Twitter. But right now, what's the difference? What's the biggest difference and the leap and the improvement when the AI comes in? That I still don't understand.
Are we talking about botnets, or are we talking about the analysis and the actual utility of the systems? Okay, on the botnet
and also
side,
the utilities for the system, and then the lie to the user that the numbers game, and then it's all actually bots, and a portion of them is bots like it. So it's like both. Yeah, we're talking about both.
Well, these are different problems. These are different problems, but to try to combine them together, I would say that the biggest problem that is relevant in both cases is that the economics of this boom have not been considered and are not actually part of what people are thinking about when they make use of or push the use of these products and components of products. And what I mean by that is, outside of very narrow use cases, the actual utility of these systems is fairly limited. And they're self-reinforcing negative behaviors. So as just a very basic example, it is not unheard of. In fact, I've heard it from 3 separate people working for 3 large corporations, where they'll write a numbered list of things to talk about. They'll hand it to ChatGPT or one of the other LLMs to turn into an email. They'll send that email to their bosses or whoever their constituents are, and then those people will put it back into ChatGPT or whatever to turn it into a bulleted list so that they can summarize it. So like you have this constant expansion, contraction, and that's just one specific maladaptive use chain, one specific bad way to use the technology, where you're reintroducing. In a more general sense, here's the other thing. In order to continue to stay useful, in order to continue to progress and grow and whatever, these systems have to continue ingesting new data. They have to continue ingesting new human-created data.
Oh, yeah.
Otherwise, they don't have veracity. They don't have reality.
In a broad sense,
the thing is
right?
that every one of the search engines on the planet, in a broad sense, but also a very specific sense. Like that's why the bots hallucinate, But anyway, we're running out of that data because every search engine on the planet, every social media and every blog and everything that we were creating, and we've been using prompt builders and stuff like that for 10 years, more than that, because I was working with this similar technology in Hadoop 10 or 15 years ago. Well, definitely 8 years ago. But anyway, the point is, MapReduce has been around for a long time. Dataflow has been around for a long time. And AI, inference and training is not new. It's bigger. And it's more accelerated than it used to be. The hardware and the money being put into it and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, I'm getting off topic. To answer the question in a very general sense, it has less utility than we're being told it does. It's being introduced into a lot of places where there is a bidirectional degradation of outcomes, which is to say, using these products are not making things better in any particular workflow. They're actually introducing new steps. And I'm not even going to get into the security concerns. I'm not even going to get into the environmental or power consumption concerns or anything like that. That's its own set of messes. But the biggest problem is that by producing more of this content, this AI generated content, pushing it out there, we're also polluting the place where we got what trained that content, those content creators. So like it's a dying product. Yeah, because now in order to continue growing, those models have to incorporate more stuff on the internet, and more stuff on the internet is being generated by these models.
Yep.
So like you're shoving the garbage back into the garbage machine and hoping to get more out of it. And like that's just not how anything works. Like
why'd you friend me?
Oh, it's one of the problems.
Anyway, long story short.
Yep.
I was doing that. You seem kind of.
Yes, it's one of the problems that if you have this new things created for the user, and then you have new data, right? So more new data, but it's just like you keep for a longer time. You just need to keep the new things comes in, because if that wasn't, the same garbage is coming back over time. But that's like
yeah. So as a very general example, let's say you have a factory that makes wrenches. The factory makes, wrenches.
Yes, wrenches.
Or screwdrivers or something.
Yep.
And some kind of tool, hand tool. And at some point,
I get what you want to say. Yes.
And at some point you decide that it's more cost effective to
me neither.
You get, man.
To have somebody else produce your tools, and then you resell them, right?
Oh, yep.
And then at some point along the line, you decide you want to be manufacturing them again, but you've sold the equipment that manufactures them to the other companies that were producing it themselves. So you either have to try to get that equipment back, or you have to build new equipment. Well, the new equipment that you build, you're not necessarily trying to build a new good product or even the original product that you were manufacturing. You're now trying to build something that costs the same amount as what your vendors were giving you, what the people that you gave the equipment to were giving you, or something that supplants them in the marketplace because now they've become a competitor, which means you're still looking at cost benefit, and what you're building now isn't necessarily even as good at what your old product was. So as you spread further away from your original goal, which was to create good screwdrivers,
thank you,
and come back around to selling products that may or may not
you don't drink milk? Okay. Yeah, keep going.
No, I don't drink a lot of milk. Well, I've kind of gotten off topic. My point is that like the value of these systems, the arguable value of these systems is that they help consolidate human created words, human created content, human created art, whatever. And when you take the landscape that contains that human created work and you fill it with a bunch of derivative AI created work, but you still need to keep growing the size of the model, and the only data set you have is what's out there, and people are no longer creating as much of the content and putting it out there because there's more of the AI content, then you end up feeding the AI content back into the thing that's generating the AI content. And the original meaning of all of it, the original connections between the things that were being made by people, and ultimately the relevance it has to what people are doing is lost.
Oh, I
and
now
not
get
just
what
from
you say.
a conceptual perspective.
I thought
but
you
also
were
from a technological perspective.
I see. I thought you were saying about long-term improvement of AI, but yeah, you're saying about that. But what you?
There's no such thing as long-term improvement.
Long-term improvement. Yeah.
Not for the task we're taking right now. Or the
yeah.
direction we're taking on it right now. The long-term improvement means scaling back to more relevant information and using these systems as ways to access that information, as opposed to ways to supplant it with quote-unquote creativity.
I see.
Now I'm talking mostly about LLMs here.
LLMs.
Diffusion models are a little bit different. Large language models, so like ChatGPT.
Can you say what's LLM? Is that yeah? Because what you're saying just now is that because AI is not a real human in the world. So everything AI knows is that we tell them. But right now AI help us create things, but we create things with AI. So a lot of reality, a lot of created reality. We create a lot of things, but we feed back to AI. AI can't differentiate about the real or bad. So we have a loop that it's its own sheet, but it thought it was real. So the sheet is going worse and worse.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and there's no way to clean it, you know.
But I think it's.
But that's just one of the many problems.
Yeah.
The other biggest problem is the trust we're putting into these systems when they were literally designed to fool us. You know.
I really want to know this. Keep saying this because do you and also do you right now, like as you a engineer that is capable, and do you find the AI really useful by the way they design it, that it kind of it just have it just designed to not let us to code things with AI with 100% what's that? We can't depend on the AI because
veracity, dependability,
the dependability. So do you use AI more?
Okay, so
when right now, like, do you using that more and more?
I don't use it at all.
At all, right? Oh
right
my
now,
god!
Except as like memes and stuff.
Memes.
But I'm also not working right now. I haven't been working for a couple of years.
I see.
Do you
still keep your things going, like keep your passion, keep your engineering things going?
Well,
like recent 2 years, at least this year, because AI is getting. I don't know, but I really hope that's me because
and I mess around with the systems.
I see.
But like I'm mostly out of it. It causes me problems.
It causes you problems.
It messes with my brain to get too much into those things right now. I'm working on it. No, not AI, but like the industry. Like
the industry. Okay.
That entire So like AI is just like a component ecosystem of it, right? Yeah. It's just it causes my brain to kind of freeze up sometimes.
Let me think about your position. How did it causes your brain to? Is that your position? Because are you in a position that you, I don't know, but I just guess you own you're owning like company. I don't know if you own a company, but is that your company?
I was working as a principal engineer for a couple different companies.
I see.
And some things happened at those companies that, and long story short, I have PTSD. You know, post-traumatic stress disorder.
What is that?
PTSD. What's that?
What is PTSD?
Yep.
It's, you know, well, I don't want to make a direct comparison.
Just say like directly because you're totally cool. So you are just. It's how big that is. Just tell us. No need to be so and so.
I don't think I can talk about it very well right now.
Okay. Like the principle of something else. Is that right? Just say it.
I mean, it's disabling. I have flashbacks to like things I've done, to work I've done, to situations I've been in.
It has flashback. Okay.
I really can't talk about it that much.
Okay, that's totally fine.
It's just trauma.
Have some syrup, man.
Have
some syrup. You're a bee,
so
this is what you need. This is what you need. You're a bee. You need some honey.
Man, he doesn't even drink milk. He's drinking the fucking syrup, man.
It's actually my own vomit, but this is tree vomit. Specifically, honey is different.
Honey is the real shit.
But I can't really talk about that much.
That's totally fine. So about my super little question, beginner question. Okay, do you use when you get open source, you know, engineer get open source all the time, right? And where is the most which site is the most used site by you, like GitHub or anything else? Because I only know GitHub, and I really want to know about open source because I want to get.
I mean, it depends on the project.
Yeah,
so, like,
you're
some
totally right.
projects
Yes,
host
tell me.
in different places. Yeah. But like most stuff is on GitHub or on like a private GitLab or something like that.
Private GitLab.
Sometimes people.
How do you get private GitLab
or something?
Is that
a GitLab is just another platform that runs like GitHub, but like you can get a private instance of it, so like you can run it locally. And that's all I'm saying. Sometimes people host their own for their project, but for the most part, it's on GitHub.
Okay, most part is
I really
on
don't
GitHub.
know very many.
So GitHub is very important,
there aren't
right?
very many large. Right? It's a single point of failure. Yeah.
What single point of failure?
Yeah. So let's say this building we're in, right? This fake building. Let's say actually, let's think about a tent. And let's think about a pole tent. So like a circus tent, right?
Okay, all right.
And so it's got one pole in the center, and then it's circular, and everything leads up to it. Well, what happens if that one pole falls?
Oh, all things
everything collapses.
Yep.
And that's kind of what GitHub is at this point. It is a single point of failure because there's so many.
Is that too good or is that too?
There's so many.
So many what? So many useful open source.
Well, there's so many. Well, if everybody is under the same tent, when the pole falls, they're all going to get crushed. So that's just what I mean.
This is this is for the ecosystem. Like, if everyone's getting too good, the whole tent, you can't get all of them in a tent. So you gotta manage a way to. What you mean is GitHub actually, by your sense, it needs to be adjusted and make less people into the tent. Now GitHub is getting too good and making too much people in the tent. And if the tent is, hey bro, you want to join the conversation or something?
We've been having this conversation for much longer than you've even been in the world. So like you can pardon it.
We're actually talking about engineering and some open source and some AI influence for the world. And so just
it's complicated.
Feel free to join if you have some things to say.
So GitHub is like
thank you, man.
Yep. Yes. Keep saying about GitHub. Yes. GitHub. Yes. Keep saying. So what I'm saying is right. So you feel like it's too much people getting in the tent, and the tent once falls off, everybody
that's not
dies.
my whole set of feelings. That's just one of my worries. It's not.
There's actually one problem.
I don't have anything wrong with. I like GitHub, and I put a lot of stuff on GitHub. But I've used a lot of stuff on GitHub. I've removed most of my repos. But it introduces its own set of challenges to the ecosystem. It introduces its own set of problems, and it's just like it's putting all your eggs in one basket.
Don't you think it's the GitHub, this kind of thing like GitHub or Wikipedia? It's one of the also the whatever. Just talk about GitHub and Wikipedia. It's one of the like base improvement of human. If it's get better, everyone gets better. Do you think about that? Do you think like that, or it sounds like it need balance as well, right?
I definitely I don't know. I don't know if it's ultimately a good thing, but I also don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's just something, it's just something that exists.
Yes,
and
it actually
introduces its own challenges.
If GitHub is getting too good, it's like so much people it's got getting out of job. Is that right? That is just right? if people like me,
no. The whole thing. No, the whole thing about people losing jobs because of AI or whatever is complete bullshit. I mean, that's going to start. I mean, it's already happening. People are already being fired because executives are idiots and they think that AI is somehow going to supplant that work.
But it's actually not even yet. I've tried that. It's not even yet. I can't.
No.
Idiot like me can't do shit.
It's completely
that means
worthless in most situations.
Yeah, I still try to hire or find the white label for the things I want to do. So you guys still standing a very strong stone. Yeah.
It's just not how it works. Like the thing is, at the end of the day, work still needs to be done.
Yep.
Like there still needs to be like something happening, and AI is completely incapable of making things happen. And the other thing on top of that is people have to keep the
It actually can make very easy things happen. It's just a point that because I've made a game like Tic-Tac-Toe with AI, it's very easy to make it. Okay, it could make it.
But the only reason it can do that is because it's seen other people do it before, and if it's trying to create something new and creative, it can't. No, it can shove together stuff that other people have done, but it can't actually understand what it's shoving together.
Actually, you know what?
Because it's
I have new point. Okay, you keep saying, and then I have new point. Okay, my point is this.
No, go ahead.
It is good enough already if someone have done that, it can replicate. If it replicates for everyone, like Facebook, someone done Facebook, right? Or someone done YouTube, someone done what's that? What's that? The apps, that social media that's it's mainly focused on the private. What's that?
LinkedIn?
No. Focus on the privacy. Focus on privacy. T something? What was that? Telegram.
Mastodon?
Telegram. Product like
Telegram.
Yes.
Okay.
Product like this. If like beginner like me type something, give me some product that is like that is same as but something different, like Telegram. And then if it gets me, it's super dangerous.
It can't even understand what you're asking.
I completely understand.
It can't even understand what you're asking. Like
how?
Even the new like GPT-4...
no Telegram. No Telegram, right? Telegram exists for so many years. Even if
Telegram...
I get an older version, it's good enough for me to start my total new company, total new, shit. Really.
I don't build anything off of something that it gives you outside of like. You can probably use it to make a specific routine, a specific piece of code that does a specific thing. But it has to be very narrowly constrained. And like you start asking it to integrate that with anything else, and it's not able to do it because it doesn't actually understand what's happening. It is literally, very literally regurgitating, returning to you hallucinations about Stack Exchange posts, about Reddit posts, about support tickets that have made its way in. It's like it's not capable of understanding anything because from a technical perspective, what it is literally doing is looking at this wall of photographs, for example, and saying, okay, in each of these photographs, and I'm not talking about graphics, just pretend this is all text data. Right?
Yep.
So now it's looking at these objects of text data, and it's saying in this one, there's a smudge that looks like this. There are some words that look like this. And in that one, there's some words that look like that. And so then it's looking at the... Do you know anything about graph theory?
Yeah, I kind of know, but I didn't study it. Yes, keep saying.
So it's looking at the vertices between those things and applying a scoring metric to how connected they are. And at the same time, it's doing the inverse. It's determining how different they are. And depending upon how you train the model and how you characterize your query, how you set the settings for what you're asking of it, it can deliver something which is more similar or less similar, but still similar to the total net that has been produced.
Oh,
the whole graph. So it's looking for commonalities that we can't necessarily easily see, but
I
it's
see
doing
what
it with
you
data
mean
that we
now.
don't necessarily need.
So you mean
Yeah,
the
so that's why
AI
it
actually?
hallucinates and appears to be creative.
So you mean if I ask AI to create a product and then when he read my words, so it can only build me something that's similar to how they look at the surface of the thing and
dissimilar.
But yeah,
like it goes both directions. So like it's
and you also mean that it doesn't understand the context of the real picture. Is that right?
It can't, because it doesn't have any ability to understand that there is context outside of the artifacts it's extracting.
What are we talking
only
about?
thing it's able to look at LLMs.
We're talking about too much. Oh my god.
I don't know what that is, but I'm gonna sit and listen and learn.
AI, quote unquote AI, ChatGPT.
Oh, okay.
You know, those types of things. Yeah.
Yeah. Can you say? Can you explain LLS? LLS. What's the term of LLS?
LLM. Lima Mike. Large language model.
Large language model.
It's,
all right.
It's what we've been talking about. It's the big old graph of interrelationships between different things within different sets of data. Both the correlations and the anti-correlations, similarities and dissimilarities. And then what it does is it basically puts all those in a big map and walks through that map, finds a path that as a total picture looks like what it thinks you're asking for, and also on a stepwise manner looks like what is supposed to be next to the last thing it said, which is to say, like, if you had a big pile of sneakers and you wanted a machine to find all of the pairs of sneakers, it would be really good at that.
Yes, it would be
it would be pretty good, because it could find all the individual components and then compare them to all of the other individual components and say, okay, these are the sets. This is set theory. These are the sets that match. But what you're asking the AI to do is to look at 1 billion sets of piles of shoes,
but
tell
it is still very good at it, right?
Features about those shoes.
Oh, features. Okay.
What?
Even it's billion, but the AI is handling it better than human, right? If it's billion of shoes, but AI.
Right, but like, you've got all these piles of shoes, and it's like you're asking it to make an outfit for you, make a whole set of clothes.
Yeah, it'll be just random. So it'll be fast, right? It'll be fast. Just random shoes and random outfit. It'll be fast for the AI. It has all the information.
But it doesn't mean that there's cohesion between them. It
doesn't
mean
you're
that
correct.
It actually looks good. That's what I mean. Yeah.
And the cohesion
so
is actually determined by the human, and it's actually everybody feels different. So the cohesion is it's very complicated thing for the AI to comprehend.
That comes down to the characterization, you know. And these systems cannot understand characterization that they have not been explicitly taught is real.
I think it can be taught.
So that's what I mean.
If we focus on it, it can be taught. Like,
give
some words, the style, like hip hop style, and then this is hip hop style, and then I think AI is very it will be very easy for AI to categorize the hip hop style, shirt, sneakers, and things.
Not better than systems that already exist is the thing. So like there are code linters, and what they do is they go through code based upon a series of rules that are related to how the code is actually used. But these are not AI systems, at least not in the way that we're building them now. These are traditional systems, and they are far more effective at
it's far more direct, right?
The AI systems are.
Yep.
It's more direct, it's more accurate, because they're deterministic systems. And so when you start getting into like the graph theory that's underlying LLMs and set theory and all those other kinds of things, you're not getting real data. You're getting what is essentially no better than a 1970s conversation bot like Eliza. It is literally using the same technology at the bottom level. It's Markov chains, and it's much bigger Markov chains, which much larger data sets with much larger attribute and characteristic lists. So like you can increase the parameter set forever, but that doesn't mean that what you're going to get back out of it is more relevant to what you're asking it for.
Oh,
it just means that you're going to have more and more. And that's where the pollution problem comes in.
Yes.
Because as we continue to release more and more of this content, the basis on which these systems can be built in terms of veracity, in terms of replicability, and in terms of reliability is reduced.
Yeah, I think they need to upgrade the filter over time of the input of the information, and then to differentiate.
It's the thing. And like even when these systems get to their apex, get to the highest level of utility, it's still not going to actually supplant most jobs. The best it's going to do is do well in places where large amounts of data do need to be merged in a way that can be indexed. But when you do that, you're turning the creativity, the quote-unquote creativity, way, way down, because you don't want it to lie to you. You want it to tell you things that are useful.
But
when
it's totally useful,
it's
like the old model already, because if it doesn't lie 1%, it's not AI, right? Yeah, we've already built this, and it's
literally the only.
Yeah, we just add the lie. We just add the lie inside, and then it became AI. That's it. And also language understanding system. Yeah, the grammar model is one of the biggest improvement of AI, and by the sense of building,
we need to use that part of it by itself and use that to build queries into actual systems that do understand what's happening. So like AI does have a place in the ecosystem.
Yes,
it does have a place in workflows.
For people like me, actually for people like me.
Developing queries, exactly. But it has to access those systems that do have a high level of replicability, that do have deterministic and idempotent outputs, as opposed to just randomly reaching into these buckets, doesn't know what it's giving you.
Yeah.
It's a complicated set of problems. And ultimately, like.
Yes. But I feel like AI has to dive into those random buckets. Like,
yes,
I understand some AI needs to be really focused, but some of the other AI, like definitely, like if you're gonna like root down Google searches or stuff like that, like if you want to get like quick answers and stuff like that, you have to do random bucket diving. And the difference between like actual random bucket diving and what these AIs are trying to do, like what they're doing is that they're diving into these buckets, and then they'll give you what these buckets say, but they also double check what the bucket is, and they're learning on which buckets are good to bad.
Double checking,
that happens at the training level, but not the inference level. So when you're training the model, go ahead.
But that's the point of AI, is that they're trying to blur those two lines together. Is like, especially like Google Gemini.
Yeah, but Google Gemini is different because it's applying diffusion to data, which is an interesting idea. And I was doing that like 6 or 7 years ago. Different technologies, but like basically the same kind of thing. So like Gemini is a little bit different, but OpenAI's models are not that good comparatively.
Well, okay, but that's also like there's different systems. It's like the difference between like internal tracking and external tracking in this, you know. Like one
inside
is
and outside, and but
one technology is much cheaper than the other, you know.
Yeah,
same
but I mean, like
Gemini versus OpenAI. OpenAI is
they're all garbage.
Just a weaker AI.
That's what I'm getting at. Like they're honestly all garbage, because it's not that they aren't useful. They have their utility, but there is not going to be an AGI that comes out of it. It's just not possible. AGIs will come out of things like automated logistics networks that actually have like. What do you want? I'm just gonna block this giant.
Yes, we're just gonna block him. Oh, he just gone away. Block him. What's the name? Shit. Get it yourself. It's just too crazy.
Your bounding box anymore, sure. Okay, that's better. So yeah, just stop putting me inside a giant eel's mouth. That would be great.
No, my drink.
I don't know. This is getting too close to some things that I don't want to touch on. But
I see.
Very long story short is like, all right, goodbye, Avatar. Very long story short is just that, like,
You know what else?
We've already talked about the reinsertion issue. So like reinserting generated content into the model, pollution of the the extant corpora and things like that. So we were already talking about that before this. So that's kind of the context of where we are now.
Yeah, how OpenAI has to continuously flip back to a learning stage to then.
Well, all of them do, honestly. They have to continuously cycle back and forth between training and
that's why I say they need a good filter. They need a small group of people that focus on the filter, the filter the intake of the information.
Then you're not actually solving any.
Because they have to know their own shit. This is their own shit, right? Is this a shit they don't intake? If this is like total real, so it has the job. It has job for the human to build a filter for the AI, and it solves this problem, right?
It's complicated. I'm kind of running out of energy for the conversation. I'm sorry.
all right. Okay, but for my beginner question, for my very beginner, very beginner question. So for our own for our older conversation about GitHub. So do you think using Windows is totally fine for if you want to do a lot of things in GitHub, or is it Windows like rubbish if you want to build things? Windows.
I mean,
Windows is like the average user's. It's
but
I want to know how he thinks.
There's not an operating system that's better for everybody. There's not an operating system that's better for everybody. It's like it depends on what you're using it for. Windows is perfectly fine.
Perfectly fine.
Yeah, Windows is perfectly fine. If you're trying to build stuff, there's nothing better than Linux out there, to be honest.
Nothing better than Linux.
Linux has a great base.
By what?
That's
to learn off
accurate.
of? Yeah.
Oh, they are accurate, right?
But the only thing with Windows is you're going to have to jump through different hoops, and some of those, or you're going to have to. It's like buying a mountain bike versus buying a road bike, right? And like they're both capable of traveling over some of the same terrain, but they have different specialties. So like a road bike has, thinner tires. It's I don't know anything about bicycles, but like just from what I've heard, like you have different types of tires, you have different suspensions. Well, yeah, wider, but like larger. Different forks, different suspension, different riding position, and like they're built for different things. And so you can't just say what is the best bike. It's like, well, what are you going to do with it? Right,
good.
And that's
you have answered my question very well.
And
now,
Windows in particular is a very general purpose, user specific, or user. I wouldn't say it's user focused, but as operating system,
almost like that.
Like build or work on operating systems. My recommendation to you is to learn a little bit of what Windows is, and learn of what a lot of Linux is.
What I would suggest is find a task that you want to complete and do it in both environments.
Both environments?
And then find a different task that you want to complete and do it in both environments. If you really want to answer the question of which is best for what you're doing and you want to figure it out on your own.
Yeah, if I really want to know. But I actually don't...
That's the way to do it. You have to do a comparison.
I actually don't really want to know because I just want to know is that workable if I stay in Windows. But if I try a sandbox, is that workable if I try sandbox in Windows and then try to sandbox Linux? Is that workable? Do you try that? Have you tried that before?
So Windows is not going to let you break down Windows, but Linux, there's like some good forms of Linux out there. Like there's learning.io.linux, which is.
I mean, with Vrchat, you can totally tear into Windows internals.
Yeah, but that's not very fun or very educational for beginners.
No, it's not.
So is that so what you mean is that it's not very educational for me to try to sandbox the Linux in the Windows, is that right?
Yeah, so like,
you mean like a virtual
Windows
machine?
Yeah, virtual machine.
So
totally right. Virtual machine in
virtual machines are fine.
It's fine.
Yeah,
in a virtual machine situation, in a place where you are building virtual virtual machines to use different operating systems, you can use any host operating system that you're comfortable with, because at that point, what you're using it for is just to move Windows around.
Yep. So it's totally fine for me if I just want to try out and then just.
I don't include that.
What you say just now,
don't
Jeffrey?
Use iOS for it. Don't use an iPad.
iOS.
Don't use an iPad for it.
No, it is now their entire system. It's all.
So
IO.
you said don't use Mac for it. Don't use Mac for it.
Yeah, it's all IO.
But bro, it's like the industry standard right now, isn't it?
As long as you still have the OS X interface layer, I think it probably won't feel any different. But if it's really going into the iOS kernels on the back end and like that kind of stuff, memory protection, scheduling, it's gonna be a dying thing.
Oh, you mean iOS?
Why would they do that?
You mean iOS? It's
because they're crazy.
You mean the phones, right? Not the OS X system, right?
Well, if they're really doing convergence, that's such a mistake. But
they're both, no, iOS is going to the OS X system, not the other way. Sorry.
Oh, that's not quite as bad. It's still kind of weird.
But it's all becoming one system.
Hey, Rox.
Yeah, I don't really disagree with that in certain perspectives. Like it's easier to support like JunoOS on the Juniper stuff. The biggest problem with Cisco back in the 2000s was that every single platform had a completely different code manager, code maintainer, and so every single one of them had different patches, and so every single one of them had different firmware to download that was built by a different team. So every time you had to file a case about Cisco, you had to wait for whatever engineer built it to get involved. Whereas with Juniper, one of their first big selling points was that they ran the same code on everything, which means you had a single support path, and like depending upon there were still specific modules for different hardware, but like the support path was the same. So I understand why they would be doing that between iOS and OS X. It's just when you first told me that they were doing it on iOS, I was like, oh my God, you do not want to use iOS compartmentalization. You don't want to use their memory compartments, their memory management.
Remember when Windows did that?
Well, Metro, yeah, and then like Windows Mobile, which not WinCE, that was completely different. But
no, WinCE was a whole different thing. But Windows Mobile and Windows, what was it? It was Windows 10, right? Like they tried making them both.
They started doing it with Windows 8.
It wasn't
like
the
Windows 10
same
was when they did
operating
it,
system, but what they tried doing was that they tried making a compressed copy of Windows 10 to make it into a mobile version.
Yeah, and they've done that before with like
had like a compressed form of Windows 10. Yeah, Windows PE was the last one to do that, which was that was Windows 7's, right? And that
was Windows 7. Yeah, that was Windows 7, I think. Well, the project started before that.
But it had an education version instead.
Right, exactly. That's what I was going to say. They started to do it before, but PE really entered the embedded market, and actually is still in the embedded market for terrible reasons. It's just like OS2. Warp is still in places, Ecom Station. Ecom Station is still being supported for ATMs. Even worse. ATMs and some anything that needs a real-time operating system that isn't using QNX or some other embedded system like that. If it has an interface, it might be running OS2. And so that includes a lot of medical equipment.
I would so believe that.
There are still Spark stations extant in certain like MRI and CT machines and stuff.
That's crazy.
I know.
I mean, I shouldn't be talking like that because I know that like a quarter of our nuclear bombs still take floppy disks to activate.
8.5-inch, right? Yeah, 8.5-inch floppy.
8.5-inch floppy disks. They're the miniatures. It's the full-size floppies. That's
crazy. The only consumers of those disks, there's still like one or two shops that still make them, but they're bespoke government houses because they have to the media degrades. So like they have to make sure that they have a backstock of fresh, media. It's ridiculous, and that's not just nuclear weapons. Nuclear weapons have actually, by and large, been switched over to other systems. But like the control systems, the launch systems, things like that, the systems they weren't able to actually take down, those are the ones that still run on ridiculous legacy hardware. Though again, a lot of it has been abstracted away. IBM did a lot of work on that in the 2000s. Well, I should say Compaq did a lot of work on that in the 2000s, and then IBM superseded it.
We also built a whole bunch of missile silos during that time too. So
I wasn't.
What, you, Jeffrey?
Yeah.
Bro.
No, the U.S. did.
Oh, U.S. did.
Yeah. Windows is fine. GitHub is fine. You know, you're not going to get the consistent behavior from GitHub across every project because every project releases in a different state.
Yep.
So, like, some projects are drop-in. Some projects have releases, which is what I was talking about before, where they give you the executable code. Most of them, you can clone the repository and follow whatever instructions they provide you to set it up. But, like, it's all based upon what maintainers are doing with it. So it's not like
what
going
to
the
GitHub.
Me?
Just generally, yeah.
And what is
it? But it's not like going to the Google App Store and pressing a button and downloading an application. You know, it's entirely dependent upon how
how that guy
sets it up.
Yeah. And
cloning a repository is always going to be the same thing. But like making the code in that repository work is very dependent upon what you're looking at.
Yeah, and my question is, what is your source to what source do you go to when you face any problem doing job? Like you're stuck when you're stuck. Is it Google or is it YouTube or is it some places?
The first thing I check is Reddit, then YouTube, then Google.
Reddit.
I'll usually use Google, and sometimes I'll use Bing. When I use Google, I'll usually end up at Reddit. Reddit search is hit and miss sometimes. That's the only reason.
But if people do have your problems and they're common, you usually find like 6 or 7. Yeah, you'll usually find 6 or 7 different ways to fix it.
Yeah, yeah, and when you're first trying to find those places, those specific subreddits, Google can help point you in those directions. That's the only reason I talk about Google, is because a lot of times what I'm looking up is not within the same domain. So like I'm looking at diverse problems. So like I can't just go to the Windows Center or whatever.
Systems.
Yeah,
most of the time he has my answers.
Yeah, I usually have to piece together answers from like 5 or 6 different places. But sometimes I'll use Bing just because it provides a different look into the data. Sometimes I even use Yandex.
Yandex is crazy.
It is crazy.
I don't know about this thing. Yandex, correct?
Yandex is
Russian.
crazy.
Russian. So
and then
it has English version. How to spell Yandex? Y-N-D-E-X.
They're trying to push it further into English and European markets. Y-A-N-D-E-X.
A fast internet
Please
search.
don't support them.
Don't support them.
Don't support them.
Don't support anybody, really, but
solve any problems.
Yeah, don't support them as much as you don't support Google.
Right,
you know.
right. They're just
what? Don't support them as much as what?
Different reasons, some of the same.
Why?
Google.
And why?
Google's a horrible company.
Okay, what is good about Yandex and why?
They have the highest turnover rate of any company in the U.S.
Google is not single-handedly responsible for it, but they are significantly responsible for the average lifespan of any employee to be 1.6 years.
1.6 years.
Actually, that's the modal.
Years? No, I'd had killed myself already by then.
Oh my god, it's getting crazy.
I'm just saying, like that's the median. That's the median. You know, career at this or job length at this point. It's actually down to more like 11 months for most people that are especially senior people.
I've been doing drop shipping since I was 16, and I just turned 19.
And?
Yesterday, October 4th, right?
And how's that
Happy
going?
birthday again.
Thank you. It's going incredible. I mean, like, people like to say that I'm boasting when I say this. I've made about 80 grand the past 2 years. Not to mention just the money coming in from it that I've made just passively, passive income from it. So
yes.
altogether, I've probably made about $100,000 from dropshipping in the last 2 years.
Like what's
Amazon's talking about cutting down dropshipping people.
Yeah, they are. That's why I'm pushing products through harder and faster.
Yeah, what is your approach to dropshipping?
Yeah, they're planning on reducing it by 75% by 2027.
Yeah, I know. That's why I am getting every single fucking lick of cent I could get from that shit right now.
I'm telling you this now because I do data analysis for them.
For a dropshipper? You?
So he buys. So what he does is that he buys a huge amount of product from China.
Yeah, I know.
And then directly sells it into Amazon.
Yeah, and or into its own website or something, right? And then you do and then you do the data mostly Amazon, and then you do the data analysis for the dropshipper or what?
I'm not getting into that. I understand the tariff.
Mine's for
transportation. That's what I'm saying. It's like
transportation.
What you're doing towards him, I'm worried
I see.
about you. It's all good. Like, we're friends here. But yeah.
But I get to know all the other numbers because of that, because I talk to all the other guys.
Neither is shooting somebody in the face if you're.
That's true. He's kind of right about that.
Time is it? I have to be at a party at 6 today.
Or I have a good time, man.
My career has been about internalizing externalities.
Oh, it's 3 right now for me. I have to leave in like 2 hours.
If I'm
2 hours.
It's totally fine. I have to incorporate like a lot of stuff that isn't at the point, the tip of the spear you're at. So like that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying I have a wider view.
This is what I do for a hobby. You don't even know my actual job, and I can't really even talk about it if I'm gonna be real.
No, I actually, Bison, if
as
you...
long as I don't actually talk numbers to you, I'm allowed to tell you about just about everything that Amazon does.
Yeah, tell it.
You must not think I know. Hold on, let me block this child, and let me block this child.
Oh no, I'm gonna get blocked!
Hi, mommy.
Yeah, take care of yourself, man. Take care of yourself.
I can't participate in any of these conversations anymore. I'm sorry. It was good to talk to y'all.
Oh yeah, I've added you, but Bison.
And in the world of 2020 and
you have
year,
you don't have much to say, like
internet access.
You don't have much to say if
almost.
You just
almost. It's not free.
Almost
state
unlimited
that
internet. Not yes, true. But at the same time, if you want to figure something out, there's gonna be something out there that you can find it.
Oh yeah, you can just go to your local library.
Yeah, go to your local library because there it's not restricted.
Oh yes. Fiend. Hey Fiend.
Hello.
I still have one question that it's about business. How much day or how much time it will be for you if how much day will it, oh my god, this graphic will that, oh my god, how to say that, how much time it consumes for you to make a online casino if it's for me, because we're talking about business now. I have money and I've one goal. You have the skill.
It's not my skill. That's not something I would be good at doing. And I see,
but I just want a basic one, and then after
I'm not even going to give you a no.
It's a no, right? So the reason of no is that very time consuming for that? Is that like it gonna cost a month or cost 3 months to make a casino server?
I get to control what I contribute to, and I'm not contributing to that.
I see. It's about contribution to the world, and you're not contributing to that direction.
Money is not my goal right now.
Money is not your oh, it's not about money. So you are Oh, your goal now is it's about the direction of the contribution you want to do, and now the money is like
it's really
if it's only
me
for
being
money.
able to live with myself is my goal. Yeah.
Morality.
I see.
Not even morality. It's just like sanity.
I get that.
Kind of what
I get that. I get that. Only if I find something that is your passion, so we might can do it, but maybe we have not that.
I'm not a software developer. I'm not a web developer. I'm kind of a detective.
Detective. All right. Yeah. For the whole time we
I'm
talk,
not a law enforcement.
You kind
I don't
of
care about any of that.
You kind of qualify for a spy already.
I'm not a spy.
You're not a spy.
I have never been employed by the United States government or any government thereby, or any agency thereby or thereunder, or any foreign government.
I see.
Never been a spy.
All right.
I haven't talked to any government outside of my own.
Make sure to put that on your SF-86.
US.
It is on my SF-86.
All right.
Oh, your FedRAMP. Oh, fuck. That's the worst department.
He's what?
Shit.
He's what?
Nothing. Amazon's got this big program for... Never mind. Doesn't matter.
Amazon. All right.
Invent a bigger pay.
Yeah, I know. It's hell, man. God.
Well, most people don't know what it is.
Yeah, I know. And then there's the zipper and nipper interfaces and like,
stop talking right there.
Look at this bumblebee.
Hello to all my friends, by the way. Hello to my buddies.
Is that your old friend?
It had to go this way, didn't it? I don't even have a case officer. Well, I probably have a case officer, but like not that I'm interacting with. I don't have a security. And never mind.
Well, I'm not too sure if they do case officers. Well, I know they do case officers, but I'm not too sure if they do it on like everybody or if it's just the people who have markings on them.
Oh, I guarantee you, my selectors are lit up like 2/3 of the time I'm on the internet. So like,
they just care about what I'm saying about the numbers.
Extraction.
Mine's all about numbers. Yeah.
Yeah, I worked a little bit more human side of things, characterization of data. So like, I get
Bumblebee. Bumblebee.
Which sucks because it's like that part of Amazon is like some of the most interesting things if you know about it. Like,
and it's not actionable.
Really like,
that's the thing. It
you
should
shut
be
that
so
up. Goddamn.
useful.
I get it, guys. I get it. Who the fuck's talking to you?
So what about Jeffrey?
Is that how, like everything moves on paper? Yeah.
Yes.
No.
So is that your territory? If my business, we're talking about just now. We say my business. So is that your territory to make it? I know you're somewhat.
My job is to make the company more efficient.
More efficient. And you have not done anything like that before for a startup product, right? And
your part,
no, I don't have it. No, I don't have
a very
degree
interesting method to develop an asset.
I have terrorist thoughts every.
Interesting method to develop an asset.
Kill yourself.
What?
You kill yourself.
Which what are you? Are you saying you want to introduce me a interesting way of develop product or something?
Vrchat. Because of Vrchat, I'm gonna fucking kill myself.
No. Our metadata just got a little bit more scrambly today, but like I don't think you have to declare anything.
I want to get this guy off, man.
Because this is horn right here. This is FX.
This is horn. Yeah, this is freaking horn. What the fuck?
Well, I'm sure they pay attention to what I talk about on here.
Hello,
most of the time when I talk about Amazon, it's to tell you about Amazon warehouse deals and how it's the best way to buy stuff from Amazon.
I actually know because I'm actually not from US. I'm not gonna lie, so I actually rarely use Amazon, but I know the dropshipping things, and I can't sell things on Amazon because of my country. So that's why I'm not very know things about Amazon because it's not in my profit area.
It is called.
But yeah, like what
you
new
with
things
the
for
general
the
idea of what Amazon is.
yes what they did. Did they did something new that's silly?
Picture of woman who is
But
made out of bone, who has
because it just sounds like
they started giving everybody Prime.
Giving everybody Prime just by free.
Yeah, free. Everybody who works for Amazon Prime.
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 Oh yeah. Can I know like what you really get, what you really benefit from the Prime?
And then you go to the breakfast room.
Prime? No, not really. It just guarantees like same-day delivery is all it really does.
And do you have discount? Or is the same?
It's a 10%.
10%. Okay. So guarantees same day delivery to everyone. So it makes the competition. It just squeeze out the dropshipping guy out the competition, right?
I'm having my pain.
No. So what dropshippers do is that they buy a large amount of items from China.
Yeah, it's not gonna survive the Prime, right? Because it's So they
no. So what they do is that they buy unprepped from China. They get it prepped by Amazon. So that means that what they do is that they just send it out as just a giant box filled with one package, with one item. So there could be like 30 of that singular item in the box.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, so the way
separate it out.
So the way people do Amazon right now is buy a big box of thing and then ship to the Amazon's own warehouse because Amazon provide this, right? And then they sell it with that. Yeah, actually, the whole thing's what I know for the short time I did dropshipping is that the really good winner is actually the Amazon itself. It creates a space for the people. They buy things first by themselves. So the guy, a lot of guy went in and then try. Some of the guy they make money by buying good product they can sell, and a lot of guy they buy something and then send to the warehouse and then they cannot sell. So the only profit person is the 100% profit person. Of course is Amazon itself. And also they have all the data, so they know what sells right, what sells quick, what is the newest thing, what's the latest thing. So they can also everybody knows, right? They create their own company and then sell things themselves. Yes, the big real winner.
Yes,
maybe a lot of big goods. It's all created by the Amazon itself. It's all the small company created by the Amazon itself, and you don't know that. You thought it's from here, it's from there. Maybe 7% is that. We don't know. 7%, we don't know. Maybe 90. No, maybe 50. Yeah, it's more like 50.
Something like 3/4 of our sellers are private sellers.
Three quarters.
Three-quarters of our sellers are private sellers.
You you read what? How do you know the data? Yes, you sounds like you are. I don't know how, but you sounds like you're really good at statistic and you have some tunnel for some information.
I do data analysis for Amazon.
You do it for them, is that right? You do it for them. You are the big guy here. Yeah. Oh my god. You do it for them. So
no, I'm not big. But yeah.
I mean, you totally know what I'm talking about, and it's you totally know that, and you know that by every inch of them because you know the data.
What?
So
I know the inside data, yeah.
So what you're saying is what 3/4? What means 3/4? Wait. I'm actually
not 75%.
75%. Oh, 3/4. Okay, 70%. Oh, fuck. Yeah. What I'm saying is real 70%. What the fuck? All right. Yeah, because
But the problem, but like I don't know the sell side of this, so I can actually talk about because I don't see those numbers at all.
Oh, you don't see those?
So what happens is no. So what happens is that we don't define small versus big sellers in our private sector.
Oh wait.
So like,
can you say that sentence again? I can't comprehend.
So we don't separate small sellers from big sellers.
Yeah.
So if you're privately selling to Amazon and you're not underneath some big corporation, we do not separate you from anybody else. So we do not identify small sellers versus big sellers.
That's totally good. So what?
No, that's bad.
So what Amazon doing is actually
that's bad.
It actually is just doing the competition right, but they
no, not at all.
Not at all. What?
So no,
keep saying.
Like on paper that sounds decent, right? But when you actually look into it, I only have outside numbers for this. I cannot tell you the inside numbers.
All right. Don't tell me that. Yeah.
I have to tell you this because I don't know them and I don't want to get into legal trouble for this. So what happens is that Walmart or like Home Depot or Best Buy, those are three giant companies here.
Yeah, in the US, but I'm not from US, but I've heard of them. Yeah.
What they can do is make a subsidiary company underneath them that's an LLC.
Can you tell me what is LLC?
Huge amount of product.
Yeah.
It's a small business license is what it practically is. What it boils down to.
All right.
Okay. What they can do is they can buy move a shitload of stock that they have in their warehouse already, and send that directly over to Amazon, and be the top seller for like 30,000 items continuously. Because not only are they just buying these directly in huge shipments, so they're getting them on huge discounts, so they're able to underprice any private seller that's not selling that high.
That is actually still a good competition because they have money. They are big companies, so they are able to afford this big chunk of goods, so they can buy low, right? It's still fair.
I understand where you're coming from. So the problem is that unregulated fairness and regulated fairness are two very different things. When you regulate completely from a company that's selling stuff like this, that just gives the people who have a giant resource behind them to be the dominant seller on the platform.
Yeah.
And then no one else can compete with them.
I know, but
so it's like the same idea. Like if you look at Walmart, Walmart. Great look at this, right?
Yeah.
We used to have a whole bunch of different grocery stores. Like every city had their own little hometown grocery store, their own little hometown garden center, their own little everything was hometown, local business.
Yeah.
And when Walmart came, Walmart would build in these poorer areas.
Yeah.
And they would build their big buildings there. And then they would fill it to the brim with a shitload of stock.
They get
for super cheap
what you're saying is
they
every location they build for and the goods they bring in, it's gonna kill all the radius, all the small grocery store on the area. What you're saying, that is right?
Yes.
And is that fair?
The same thing happens even if you move that market to it is to a point, right? There's a certain point where you are definitely undercutting these other businesses to kill them off. Right?
Yep.
And there's a very obvious point when that happens. You gotta remember that when you're looking into financial stuff, especially the economy, you don't look at it as everybody's doing the right thing for the economy. You have to look at it as everybody's out for themselves in the economy. Right?
Everybody
so Walmart's always going to be out for itself. Yes.
Walmart's gonna outform itself.
Yes, and playing as the market is going to play well by itself or do the right thing by itself won't work because the market will never do the right thing for itself.
Yeah, the market, and also it's the business. You know, if you can dominate, so they do dominate, right? They have to. It's competition. Is that right? Is that
like
right?
the big, yeah, like Walmart has no more competition in the brick and mortar stores. There is no grocery store bigger than Walmart in the world.
I think the competition is,
and there's no grocery store that
China
comes
goods.
close.
The China goods is the Walmart's. Oh, but yeah, the daily things, Walmart is the best, right? You don't buy daily goods like toilet papers from the China buying cheap, right? And you gotta pay for the fees of the what's that, the flight fees, what was that?
Taxes.
Yeah, taxes. Yes.
Taxes.
And also also the taxes is also protecting the Walmart, because if you buy things cheap outside the country, there's taxes, so it's cheaper now buying in the US from the Walmart. So Walmart's now the domination. Yeah.
So I have completely lost you at this point.
Sorry.
Like, I understand some of what you're saying, but like not all of it. You get what I mean?
Yeah. What is the real mean? What's the point you want to put into what is easily say what is wrong with what these big companies just did? Yeah, what is really wrong, and we don't know about.
So the problem with these companies is that they would do good if the money came back to the cities that they took over from. Right.
Right. Yeah. But it's very business wise.
So the money the money that we spend there goes back into the economy that it came from. Right.
Yeah. But that's the best scenario every businessman wants, right? You want the money come back.
That's the absolute best scenario.
Yeah.
But right now we're in the absolute worst scenario.
Wow. And why?
So instead of these companies putting money back into the system by paying employees more, doing more local events, spending money in the communities, what they do is that they hoard it in bank accounts in Ireland.
Oh, wow. How do you know this? Hold it in a bank account of Ireland. And what's the... Why is that doing this? In Ireland. Specifically in Ireland. Why is that? Is that tax
Ireland has good... it's somewhat... Ireland has really good money protection laws.
So it's...
So even
security.
If, like... Yeah, like they either have them in Sweden, Ireland, Britain... or Japan. That's where all the money goes. They go into banks from Sweden, Ireland, Britain, and Japan.
Sweden, Ireland, Britain, Japan.
Yeah, that's where all of our money is held.
Yeah.
You know how we say that we're the richest country?
Sweden.
Physically, all that money's in those banks.
Oh yeah. So Big Four, right? Physically.
Yeah.
Sweden,
yeah, like all of our biggest companies hide their money in those places.
Sweden, British, and what? And Japan?
Sweden, Britain, Ireland,
yes. Ireland, wait. Japan. So
and Japan.
And what you just told me is that okay, they don't do goods back to the community. They hold all the money into the, in the bank, and then just basically they just get the percent, the interest, the low the what's that? The general interest from the bank with the big pile of money.
Yeah, that's common, but that's not what I'm worried about. The problem with it is that not only are they hoarding this money, They're undercutting everybody else so no one else can sell around them.
Could sell around them?
So
oh, yeah. The domination. Yeah. So they still...
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
what's
selling
that called?
everything cheaper than everybody else. It's called what they are is monopoly. What
monopoly, yes.
Undercutting.
Monopoly is... I think US have the... What's that called? They cut... They prevent monopoly. What's that called? The law. I think US have that law, right?
No. Well, we do. It's a monopoly thing. It prevents people from buying out. So it prevents big companies from buying other big companies to become a monopoly in one area.
Yeah. When good small company, like when Apple's small and Microsoft actually want to buy Apple, right? So, but it's by the law of the US, it's not gonna. It can't do it because it's monopoly, right? But in like but is that Walmart did that? Like this, is there like any good?
Walmart bought out a lot of their. So the difference is that that's called a natural monopoly.
Natural monopoly? Why?
Versus a bought out monopoly.
Yeah, and they did bought out, right? What you're saying is they did bought.
No. Walmart did rise up by itself. Like, it didn't buy giant companies to become this large. It literally just outdid the market.
And
which is which was super fair for them.
Yeah, super fair.
And great and all, but they went unchecked. So now this monopoly is still going around knocking out all these communal grocery stores.
Yes.
Destroying all the competition around them.
But it's
absolutely demolishing any local sell.
Yeah. So
hiding
all the grocery
money in a different country, and then no one's checking on that.
So did they break laws? Did they really do? Is that by natural competition, or they did actually buy some of the company, and then did what we said monopoly? Did some of the good grocery store, I don't know, and then they bought the brands, and then I don't know, did they did this? Because if they did this, that means they're breaking the laws.
They didn't. So they didn't break any laws to grow this monopoly.
So
what they're doing is that when you have something this big and powerful, when you let it be the only big and powerful thing with no one monitoring it, it's going to destroy all the communities that it's holding.
Oh, you are right. What you're saying is a problem. It's not they are breaking any laws. It's totally fine with the laws, but it's a problem if you have like one-sided monopoly. What about like after years? Like if they did, they can do whatever they want because they don't have competition. What we want is the competition is very.
We want competition.
Yes, we want competition.
We want market competition.
Yes. So, but US, I don't heard of any like laws and created to make sure like any industry to make sure there's a competition. So I feel like you just open a idea from
on the natural side. So there is marketplace laws that do look into this stuff.
Really? Like
the problem is how they look into these markets is total sales and not market dominance.
What do you mean total sales?
Right. So they base the companies off of what they sold over the last year.
Yes.
And not how much of the market they actually fully control.
Not how much the market they not actually fully control.
So like a $7 billion company can't buy another $7 billion company.
Yeah.
But a company that has 96% of the market can buy that last 4% off.
Yeah.
Because it's not selling $7 billion.
They can do. Isn't that if they buy off that 4%, it is actually also monopoly, right? So it's pretended, right?
Yes, but we have nothing. So how they're looking at it is on the money side, not the percentage of the market they dominate.
Ah, it's the money side. What you're saying is 4% is the money side, right?
Early on into early markets, like let's say, AI, the AI market right now, the people who are selling this right now, right? This is a good market to look into. It is growing right now. So, right now, Google has something like 80% of the market of all AI being used right now. But they only made something like 300 million off of it. Which, how the U.S. government looks at it, that's not monopoly numbers.
Oh.
So if Google wants, they can just go over to OpenAI, buy them out, and have 100% of the market. And since they were looking at the money they're making, and not the market dominance, they're just allowed to have that much of the market dominance.
Or what you're saying is the way they differentiate, the way they seize the monopoly is not by the percent they dominate, but how much, the volume,
but how much money they make.
And you feel like, and I also feel like, and so you feel like it's not a good way to seize monopoly, right? And I
no.
Yeah, no? Yes, yes, or like
it's
no, yeah.
How we look at monopolies right now is horrible.
Yeah. What you're saying is like they shouldn't seize that with the number. They should seize that with percent, right? Oh, you're going party.
Yes, with the
yes, I also agree.
Market,
I totally agree. So that means they have jobs to do better. They or maybe there's a reason. Maybe there's some reason we don't know, because laws, a lot of laws actually created for some, for somebody. It's not created for the total
to do that.
Yeah.
Somebody made money on it. That's why it exists.
Yes. If even with the total normal person, if they can thought of that, the people create this law. I'm sure they know this, but they just create the rules this way to benefit some the people they want to benefit. For example, like themselves or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
So okay, so this is the problem of the monopoly, but it's like I don't know what I can do, right? If there's no competition for a grocery store, grocery store is just too plain. This industry is too plain. You sell all the things. That means you just sell all the things, all right? All the daily things and most of the electronics. Yeah. So how you dominate is by price, and it's no way to dominate with price in 21st century anymore, like from now, because everything is just go to the bottom. Every new product, like over like at least 1, 2, 3 months, every price is just gonna sell to the bottom price. So it's really for the industry, for the grocery industry, it's like really hard to have two very 50-50 competition, two big companies. It's very hard, because one, if this grocery is just do 1% better, you buy toilet paper there, it's just like 10 cents better, most of the, I don't want to say peasant, most of the people just gonna buy with the cheaper one, so all the money goes to that. So there's very hard for the grocery industry to be like too big. It's very easy to be monopoly. So that's a job for the government. Now it's job for the government to do. The government sees that if they do bad, but
regulate.
Yeah, they have to regulate. Only
the government's job to regulate the economy,
and also everybody's job to say out to talk if they see this a problem. If they are dominated, if they are dominating
if they see a problem, what they should be doing is setting up rules to limit that problem.
Yes, and also everyone actually, the best scenario we want is everyone in the U.S. Everyone in the U.S. is the boss themselves of the country, right? So if there's a problem,
no. That's
because you all pay the taxes. You all pay the taxes. You all are the boss, and the problem is there. So every citizen should raise that problem, and then the government should have to do something to it because they want to be the next president as well after 4 years, right? So it's like the whole circle.
What's the birthday boy up to?
Yeah, it's a whole fucking circle. It's a whole fucking circle.
It's a whole fucking circle. So if we keep talking, we're going politics right now. Yeah, we're going politics because want to solve a problem. We're gonna.
I should probably leave on politics.
All right. Yeah. Politics. It's like I don't know. Is that boring or is that too
I'm not
spicy?
Politics.
I don't know.
I don't mind economics, but politics is too much.
yes. But it's like, so what I learned from the whole conversation is that the economics is also actually just control or regulated, influenced largely by the politics. So how the politics goes.
So our market actually is not based off a lot of what our government does, because our government has no put in the market. The government sells nothing on the market. They do nothing on the market. All they do is they set the boundaries for the market, right? So like they're holding the market and telling it how it should work.
You can't understand anything.
And the market exists in a whole different thing than the government itself.
Speak more clearly to me.
Yeah, but
the government can harm the market, but they can't truly change how the market is running when it's running.
I think my point is still valid, right? You say what government only do is just to set the
boundaries
the rules
for the market.
For example, the tax is also the boundary of a industry. Like if like for example from tomorrow the import tax is all gone, the tariff is all gone. You know what? Maybe this way Walmart's gonna die because everyone's gonna buy things from China right now because there's no tax, no protection. So the boundary is very important for me.
No.
Right?
No, we won't be buying directly from China, no. The reason why is transportation.
Yeah, transportation. Yes.
Have you ever tried to buy a singular item from like the US?
I have, and the transportation is the transportation itself is a boundary. Yes. It's a natural boundary, and yeah, it's very expensive. If I bought something from US, it's the transportation is gonna cost more than the product if you buy small things. So
yeah, but like a company like Walmart who has their own transportation industry within their company, transporting something from China to America is not a big deal for them, so it's still going to be cheaper.
Yeah, their own logistic system. Yeah, correct. But a lot of company is also lived inside the country because of how the tax is from, right? For example, I don't know, like a lot of country, a lot of country, the car industry, they have their own own country's brand car, and and I don't know about US because I'm not a US citizen, but a lot of company is gonna put taxes to any car that is import from the outside, and make it expensive enough so that the local car brand is gonna live. Otherwise, if the price of the car made by Japan or like Toyota, if like their quality is so good enough, even the price is just a little bit or maybe the price is even cheaper than the worst quality car that is made by the local, so the brand's not gonna live. So the tax is gonna make the brand live, right? So it's also
I mean, hardly ever, because if a brand like the U.S. lives under different conditions than every other country in the world.
Agree.
Right?
Agree.
Like, anytime a company breaks into the U.S. market, they've made it big. Like, the U.S. market is worth almost twice what the European market is. Right? So just landing into the U.S. market, not including Canada or Mexico, just the United States market, is one of the biggest things that you can do for a brand. So we live under different conditions than, let's say, like Germany. So, like, if we can tax outrageously on companies because of this.
What? You guys can tax what?
We can tax anything from a company.
From a company?
We could practically tell any company, we could practically, like, if the US wanted, they can tell most companies to start building a factory here and start working better with the US and start reducing prices right now. And the companies would have no other choice but to do so because of how much our market's valued.
Yes, this is how boss the US is, how boss the US dollar is, actually.
It is the most powerful currency on the world.
Yes, correct.
Even if you go to China, you can still spend that an American dollar there without converting.
Yeah, totally killing it. Yes,
it is the easiest dollar to get rid of. You can go to practically any country in the world and give somebody a US dollar and they'll take it.
Yes.
Except for Canada. Canada doesn't give a shit about us.
Seriously, Canada. Is that because of how they live, or like how they think, or there's like a politics?
It's just because of our proximity.
Proximity.
Are you guys
Was
blind?
that proximity?
Canada is our hat. They're right on top of us.
Right on top of US. Of proximity. And why? Like, I know. I know. They are just above the US, and why? They are just so close, and then why they don't take US dollar? You know what I mean? It's just so close, or maybe they just want.
It's definitely attitude. It's definitely attitude.
Attitude, yes. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, that's the attitude, like Canadian attitude, something. But I actually did not know much. Did not have more Canadian friend. I actually have more US friends, so I don't know about their different attitude.
US is 10 times Canada's population. It's like something like 30 times US Canada's population.
I see. And Canada is big also, right? So
I think they
are very laid back, right? So
there's only like 10 20 million people there.
10, 20 million.
And then the US is at like, yeah. US is at like 860 million, something like that, billion, something like that. I don't remember.
I see.
I don't know, the world's at not under trillion yet, right? There's only 7 billion people on this planet.
7 billion. I see.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all that's on this planet.
Alright, attitude. Okay, bro. You going parties? I'm actually gonna add you as friend.
I'm going to a party in real life.
Yeah. In real life, you're almost going, cause I remember you say 2 hours, right? I think it's almost 1 hour and something or like that. Do you have Instagram? Do you have Instagram? You have Instagram?
No, I don't. I don't have Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook.
Oh, you mean real? You mean yes?
Yeah, I don't do social media.
You really? Is it like you don't like it or what? Because I thought you just say you're not, but you do not watch. You do not like social media?
No, I don't like social media.
I see. I only really don't like TikTok, but like Instagram. What's wrong with Instagram? Instagram. People just.
It's owned by Facebook.
What? Oh, it's by Facebook.
And that's a whole political thing that I don't want to go into.
I see. So you don't like the way they handle their privacies, right?
No, I don't like Facebook. Facebook is a horrible place, and no one should be supporting it in any way or fashion.
All right. So I think you are the guy who is gonna support Telegram, right? Telegram.
Telegram. I don't support Telegram.
For Telegram, bro, it's privacy place, man.
I just don't support horrible companies.
Why? Telegram's good company that really stand on the privacy. Or like something did I don't know?
Yes. I don't think anybody's intercepting telegrams anymore.
Why?
So I guess the safety would be high.
Safety will be what?
If you don't know nobody here, nobody want to talk to you, Jack.
Will be high?
You
just mean high,
yeah.
H-I, high. Or what?
What if you spoke in Morse code?
What?
Someone.
Can't really
be.
listen.
Morse code to someone, you're just like beep 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 beep
beep beep beep beep. The problem with that is that there's enough old people on here that somebody would pick it up. There's enough military personnel on here that somebody would pick it up.
Are you a chinky?
What is chinky? Bro, Jeffrey, what is chinky? He asked me, am I chinky?
Are you a chinky?
He's asking you if you're Chinese. Just in a super racist way.
Do you think that I'm Chinese? Do you think that I'm Chinese?
想拉 chinky.
What is 想拉 chinky? What do you think that I'm Chinese? Chinky is? Is that Chinese?
Yes. What are you saying? Hang on. What are you saying?
I'm saying, are you a chinky to this guy?
I'm not.
Chanky.
I said I'm talking to him, no you, bro. No cunt's talking to you. I'm talking to him, man.
Are you Irish?
Bro, you
Scottish?
She said that. You're from Poland or Irish or something? Very strong accent. Very interesting.
I am Poland, don't I?
Poland, alright. Poland, yes. Poland.
Yeah, I'm from Poland, don't I? I'm from Poland. Yeah, I'm from Poland.
Oh my god, the first time I heard the real life Poland. Not real life, but like talking with
he's
me.
Not the Poland.
Why would I be from Poland?
Are you pretending or is this your real accent? It's very hard. This accent is so high level. And why do you think that I'm Chinese first? Why do you think I'm Chinese?
This accent's from the Highlands.
Highland, Thailand or like what?
Man,
Thailand or Highland? It's not from Highland. Thailand.
Highland.
Where's Highland? Highland.
Sorry,
is
he's from the lowlands.
Do you mean he lives on the hill or something? Or
he's saying he's Scottish, right?
Scottish?
That would be the lowlands.
Yeah, Glasgow.
Glasgow. And also, it feels like your slang is a bit like Russian slang. Oh my god.
I'm gonna need some like closed captions on top of your head there.
Oh, what's that? What's that?
You want to know what I live?
Can't really read that. Can't really read that. What wanna? Wanna?
My full name is Jory McElvenny Liu. I stay at 313 Baycraft Road, Polican.
Are you saying English actually? Or is that variant of English?
Yes, it's English. It's a variant.
It's a variant, right?
Variant.
No wonder I don't know.
It's complete English. It's English.
So do you know Chinese actually? Hot dog
like
man.
A very old English accent.
Very old. Oh, so it's actually.
It is. Yes. Ireland has some of the oldest. No, you speak English.
No, I don't.
You speak English. Yes, you do.
I do speak English. I speak Gaelic.
And actually, British English comes from Irish and Scottish speech.
I can't believe
more than
it.
It does come from anywhere else.
I can't believe it. But yeah, actually, it sounds like British English is a bit feels like that.
The English accent has a deeper dive into Scottish accent than.
And this crazy accent.
What you say, man?
No idea, man.
Look, everybody
Some
hates
variant.
the British.
Variant
And
of
I
English.
do not want to associate you with the British because the British are fucking horrible people.
Jeffrey, I don't want to associate with you because you were outed as being a pedophile. Why don't you tell her who we were talking to on Discord? The little girl Chloe.
Hey,
she was
it's not
13
even
years
girl,
old.
man. She's not even girl. He's not even girl. No, you know nothing.
Come,
And say
you
something
asshole.
crazy,
You sound
man.
like you live in India. Stop talking.
India. Oh my god, mate. It sounds like India. He says I sound like Chinese, and then you say that I sound like
Add me
India.
on Discord, bro. I'll show you the proof.
You have what? You have Snap?
I have the proof. He's talking to underage
Yeah, show
girls.
it, show
add
it.
me on Snapchat.
Show it.
What's your Snap?
Come here, come here.
Yeah, do it.
Amazon support fucking faggot.
Yo, where's that
Just
underage?
bragging about your Snap, bro.
Fuck that bitch in our ass, bro. Where's that underage girl at?
Okay, I'm gonna go see another friend.
Right.
I'll
Bye.
talk to you
See
later, man.
Jeffrey. Talk next time. All right. See you.
I'll see you.
All right. See you. Have a good time in the party. Don't get drunk or whatever. Just get drunk.